Hello, everyone, and welcome to our event tonight, where we are going to talk about info finance and prediction markets today, together with Zhong Chan from Trepa. And he's an expert about the topic. He has his own company, and I'm really looking forward to his presentation today, where he's going to give us an overview of what exactly are these prediction markets, which is a very hot topic right now in the blockchain world. How can we get involved? And he's also going to present their solution at Trepa and how we can utilize this solution as users. And yeah, basically join the prediction market space. Welcome, John, and I'll directly give you the word. And thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks so much for hosting me and for the kind invitation and introduction. Maybe it's interesting to know that we've known each other for a couple of years now, Mari and I. So I'm originally from Germany, and I used to work at Blockchain Founders Group, and EcoLens was also a company that we backed. And I've come to know Maria quite well, and every time I'm in Germany, I try to meet up with her. So thanks a lot for having me here. And I will start by sharing my screen. Let me see if that works. And let me go into the sharing mode. And yeah, as announced by Maria, I'm going to talk a little bit about this new buzzword called info finance. And as a very high level overview, info finance is a encompassing word that also includes things like prediction markets, future key, decision markets, and these sort of like mechanisms that try to help people aggregate information to arrive at more informed decisions. So let me dive right into it, but maybe it makes sense to give a quick introduction about what the team looks like and who I'm building our own solution in the info finance space with. So my name is Chong. You can also call me JC. I have an academic background in social sciences. I studied political science, then also public policy in Germany, France, and also in Japan. I got involved in crypto around 4 or 5 years ago, first starting as a researcher researching about the digital euro, whether it's possible to move the European emission trading system onto a DLT. Then I started my investing career at Blockchain Founders Group, which is a investing company and accelerator based in Germany. And since last year, together with Leon, my co-founder, we have started building Trapper, which is kind of our take on making predictions more fun and also very rewarding for the users with high emotional intelligence. And we've also had our first success, which was our participation at the Bybit and DMCC hackathon last year in Dubai, where we got the second prize. And yeah, so we are building this right now. But I think, first of all, I want to start with why smart people like Vitalik Buterin, who is the founder of Ethereum, is interested in prediction markets. And I think that this is kind of telling. I think most people know prediction markets by having read the news about Polymarket. They've done over 1 billion in trading volume leading up to the US presidential elections last year. Maybe you've also heard about Kalshi, which is the first CFTC regulated and approved prediction market for political elections. But why is it that academic people are interested in prediction markets? I think you know that prediction markets can be used for betting, but what's really special from a conceptual level about prediction markets? And here you see this guy here at the bottom right. That was essentially me a while ago. And I did wonder as well, okay, what's this buzz about prediction markets? Why is everyone talking about it? And why should you consider checking it out? So I think this is basically the topic and for today. And the coming slides will hopefully make this more digestible if this is your first time engaging with the topic of prediction markets, but also in finance more broadly. So I think if you talk about prediction markets, you will get to hear very often one sentence, which is put your money where your mouth is. And this basically means or implies that there are certain situations where you not might want to trust something you hear or read 100% or blindly. And the reason why is if you stand to lose money, a financial stake, then you would not make baseless claims as easily, right? So I try to make this more plastic with those images at the bottom. So in the bottom right, you see this very cute Shiba Inu dog, and then you also see this kind of angry looking cat. And then they are entering a bet. So Shiba Inu says or makes a prediction that tomorrow it will not rain. But the cat thinks otherwise, and the cat says it will rain tomorrow. So they are both betting money. And of course, whoever bets correctly or predicts the future correctly, he or she will win. So let's say we wait a couple of hours. Tomorrow is coming, and then the outcome really is that it rains. So the cat was right. The cat gains the money from the loser, which is the dog, who has predicted wrongly. And yeah, this is basically how a simple bet works, and also how essentially prediction markets work. So prediction markets are basically platforms where you bet on a future event. If you predict a future event correctly, then you win. If you don't predict correctly, then you lose money. It's essentially very simple, and but there are a few details which make it a little bit more interesting with prediction markets. So you can see on this slide a screenshot of a prediction market on Polymarket. So as you know, Polymarket is the biggest prediction market that exists currently, and Polymarket hosts a myriad of different prediction markets. So this example here asks, is Russia and Ukraine going to have a ceasefire before July? So essentially before July 31st. And here this graph tells us essentially in real time the development of the perceived probability of this event happening. And the event is, as I said, the ceasefire in the Ukraine war. And here in the beginning of this year, people have thought collectively that the probability is around 50%. Then at the start of February, people said, okay, it's less than 40%. And today, I took the screenshot today, the probability has skyrocketed to over 60%. So basically, this means that the collective user group of Polymarket who has engaged with this prediction market is thinking that the ceasefire will materialize with 60% or 63% probability. This doesn't mean that out of 100, 63 people are saying that the ceasefire will happen. It just means that whoever is willing to put their money where the mouth is saying that 63% is the likelihood of this event happening. So I think here's basically a question, right? So here's a couple of on the right side you will see some numbers, and you might wonder, okay, if I put in $10 and I want to buy $10 worth of Yes shares, how much do I stand to gain? And how you arrive from this $10 to the potential payout of $15.87 is essentially by dividing 1 divided by 63%. Um, and the same goes for the case where you would want to buy no shares because you're saying, okay, I would rather buy no shares because I believe that the ceasefire will not happen. Then you would buy the no shares. And then if you were to like calculate the odds for your payout, if in case you predict correctly that there will not be a ceasefire before July, then you would simply divide 1 by 0.38. And then this would give you your potential payout if you are correctly predicting that there will not be a ceasefire. So this is basically how the mathematics works in terms of your expected payout, depending on the current price that you see in this market. Um, and I think the key part here to understand is that each market consists of yes shares and no shares, and you basically, as a trader, you basically try to buy the shares which represent your belief in the future outcome. And let's say you buy yes shares, and indeed there will be a ceasefire before July, then your yes shares will will be worth $1. So for every yes share that you buy at 63 cents, you will make a profit of 37 cents. So this is basically how it works. It's fairly straightforward. And yeah, I think later in the Q&A, if you don't think I've done a good job at explaining, I can try to explain this further. All right, so I talked about prediction markets, how they work. And going one step back, I think it's very interesting to now talk a little bit about why people like Vitalik Buterin find prediction markets interesting. And he says basically that prediction markets have two phases. Um, and the first phase that prediction markets have is which what we talked about already. This is the betting dimension of prediction markets. So people can bet, they can stake money, and they can make lots of money potentially if they're right, if they believe that, or if they have confidence in their prediction ability. But beyond betting, prediction markets are also a information aggregator. So they basically harness the wisdom of the crowd and collect lots of different information, lots of different inputs from lots of different people, and basically crystallize everything into a single number, which is the current price, which implies the likelihood of an event happening. So what this basically means is that prediction markets also function as a news site for visitors. And this is pretty cool. And you can also see here from these graphs that this information about the likelihood or probability of an event happening gets updated in real time every time there is a trade happening in the prediction market. So this is, I believe, super cool and also super useful. And I also like that this basically helps us to alleviate the negative connotation the betting sites have. So essentially, Polymarket, Kalshi, or other prediction markets, they are not only there to make money, but they are also a very useful information aggregator that can inform decision makers across different industries. So they're useful for information aggregation and can be really, yeah, helpful in making the right decisions. Okay, and this is, I think, the last slide with regards to, I think, the introduction to prediction markets. And as I said in the beginning, prediction markets are just a subspecies or subtype of this broad area that is called infofinance. Infofinance applications or concepts have been around for actually many decades, but it was just recently since the emergence of Polymarket and also I think this new interest made public by Vitalik that many people have tried and are still trying to build info finance protocols. And in this area, you will hear about mechanisms like surprisingly popular, prestige, futures, prediction markets, future key, key engine beauty contests, and also decision markets. But the key part to understand around info finance is that the info finance applications are trying to design a system to basically uh, create information using market mechanisms and incentives. So this is basically the focus. The focus is not really making money, but financial or monetary incentives are used to aggregate useful information depending on the context. So, for instance, if you are in a corporate setting, if you are working in the context of DAOs, you might, for instance, find the concept of future key very interesting. So, future key examples that are currently existing in the blockchain space are MetaDAO on Solana, but there's also Robin markets on EVMs currently that try to use the future key, which is kind of like a special subgroup of prediction markets, to arrive at the best decisions to maximize the output of or the wealth of certain DAOs or organizations. So it's a very interesting concept, and I think there's much more to be learned and much more to be experimented with in the real world beyond just concept papers and academic papers as well. So this is the space that I've gotten to learn about and also have learned to really appreciate. And with this background, I would now like to segue into introducing you to my own take of how to make info finance more fun and also more rewarding to users. So, as Maria mentioned in the beginning, I am building this thing called Trappa. And maybe if you wonder what Trappa means, it's coming from Swedish, but it's also leaning into German, into the German word treffen, which means either to meet someone or to hit the target. And I think this was very telling to what we're trying to do because essentially we are offering a way for users to predict public sentiment. So again, prediction markets like Polymarket, they are trying to predict a future event. However, people on Trappa, they are trying to predict the public opinion or collective sentiments. And in the following slides, I will try to make this more plastic with some real life examples. So the starting point really is that although I really love prediction markets and I also use prediction markets myself, there are a couple of things that might be suboptimal depending on who you are and what your preferences are as a trader or as a user. So prediction markets are really good for making money. They are also a great news resource, but they don't really cover the full spectrum of interesting questions that might be of interest for you, because every question on Polymarket basically starts with the word will. So will something happen? Will Bitcoin be above 150K by the end of this year? Will Trump win the US presidential elections? However, we as humans might also be interested in more subjective or normative questions like, is the death penalty just? Or is Chong doing a good job in presenting info finance to the audience, right? And the second big thing here really is that on average, people on Polymarket need to wait 19 days for a market to resolve. And if you're like me and you have a very short attention span, like a Gen Z, this might not be ideal. And also, there are things like Oracle dependencies, resolution disputes, and sometimes also slippage when you trade, because you need to bootstrap liquidity on prediction markets. So these are basically some of the reasons why I thought, okay, we might have a chance of introducing a product by making those like negative design features of Polymarket better. So, and to give you some more examples of what kind of questions you might expect on Trapper to see, here are a selection of questions that our intern has curated for you guys. So, for instance, here this one, what's quite funny is Toguan a bigger scammer than SBF, or is Ansem a grifter, or should Sam Bankman-Fried and Diddy start a new crypto project from prison because allegedly they are sharing the same prison cell. Or you could ask, should Mert shave if Sol drops below $100? So as you can see, these kind of questions are very different from questions that you might expect on Polymarket. In fact, these questions Polymarket cannot accommodate, cannot cover, because there's essentially no future event to resolve them objectively. However, the innovation that we came up with is using and leveraging polls to aggregate the voting outcome and to use the voting outcome as the thing that users on our platform are trying to predict. But first of all, to summarize, really, what we're trying to build is a mobile app that lets you bet on public opinion. And what the special thing here really is it's not really about information asymmetry. It's about trusting your gut feeling, trusting your social intuition, and trusting your empathy. So I actually believe that from a scientific standpoint, women, females, have an edge in playing our game, in winning in our competitions, because on average, females tend to have a higher E score, empathy score, than males, right? So this could be interesting if you're a female and want to try out prediction platforms. And also, differently from prediction markets, we can pay you out within 24 hours. So we are not stuck, we are not dependent on the resolution by a future event, which might lie weeks or even months in the future. We can make the resolution period much more shorter. And also, we are more fun because you can basically let your imagination run wild with coming up with interesting questions, right? Because we are not bound by real life events. So, how does it work, and how can you basically make money by being better predictors, super forecasters than your peers? So, as I said, maybe let's start with the right side. You see interesting questions, and on our phone mobile app, you can swipe those questions either to the left or to the right. If you swipe left, you are basically voting no, and if you are swiping right, you're voting yes. And in the back end, we are basically aggregating those individual votes into the voting outcome. In our case, the voting outcome has only two sides, so the share of no votes and the share of yes votes. But of course, we keep this vote hidden until the resolution day. So if you want to participate in this social prediction game, you can do this basically in two simple steps. So first, you can use our slider to lock in your estimate with regards to the public opinion. You say, for instance, that you believe that, I don't know, 69.42% says no and 30.58% says yes out of all the voters. Okay. And then you can basically, second step, you can basically stake money. For now, it's between $6.9 and $420. And then this money is added to a staking pool. And the staking pool basically contains all the money from all the participants. And if the prediction period is over, we basically calculate for each participant the prediction error. And the prediction error is basically the difference between the true voting outcome, for instance, here 65% no and 35% yes, minus your prediction estimate. So, for instance, here you say 30.58%. This is your prediction for the share of yes votes. So, basically, now the participants are ranked. They are ranked by how accurate they are, or in other words, how small their prediction error is. And the smaller your prediction error, or in other words, the more accurate you are, the bigger your share in the prediction pool, right? And the rule here is if your prediction error is smaller than the median prediction error, so if you're better than half of your peers, then you are a winner and you will have a positive ROI. However, if you are less, if you are part of the bottom 50% of predictors, then yeah, I'm sorry, you need to touch some grass and try again. So really to summarize, I think prediction pools, this is what we are trying to build. Prediction pools, they're innovative because you are not bound by future events, so the payout can be much faster. It's not a game of choosing yes or no. It's actually a game of accuracy where you need to choose a number between 0% and 100%. And it can be as precise as you wish. And also, we can cover questions that cannot be covered by prediction markets like Polymarket. And yeah, I think this is quite interesting. And currently, our team is participating in a couple of hackathons. So, if all goes well, you can expect to try out our app by the end of March or in the beginning of April. So basically, make sure to follow us on Twitter, where we regularly host also some kind of like giveaways, some small challenges for community activation, where we also will announce when we launch our beta product. So I would love for you guys to be part of our journey, and I think now we could transition into the Q&A. I believe this was a lot of questions, but I hope this was yeah, an interesting introduction to InfoFinance. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this presentation. It was really amazing. So I have to say about myself, I didn't know much about prediction markets. And definitely by this presentation, I understood quite a lot and how I can participate, which is very exciting. I myself have a few questions actually, but maybe after I ask the questions that we got in the comments, we can go back to my questions. So, first of all, for everyone listening tonight, you can ask your questions in the comments, just write them, and I will ask them. So you can have an answer during the live session. If you watch this session not during our live session but later on our LinkedIn or YouTube channel, you can of course also write a question in the comments, and I guess that John Chan will see it and he can also answer as a comment. But yeah, now we have two questions. So first, the first one are, what are the key challenges in creating liquidity for prediction markets on blockchain platforms? And how can these challenges be overcome to attract more participants?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think it's kind of like a chicken and egg problem, and most platforms other than Polymarket are actually struggling with liquidity bootstrapping. So if you are a very new prediction market and you want to bootstrap liquidity, then you would probably have to incentivize liquidity providers by, I don't know, giving more money or giving more incentives to provide liquidity into the market. And the reason why you want to have liquidity in the market is to reduce price impacts, but also slippage when traders trade. So you want to make the bid ask spread as small as possible to reduce trading friction. And for this, you basically need lots of liquidity. So you need to somehow incentivize liquidity providers, market makers to provide liquidity. And this is best done by monetary incentives in the beginning, at least when you are still very small. I think Polymarket, they actually spend lots of money in incentivizing market makers or liquidity providers, but they also have the money because they've raised lots of money from investors previously. But I think for Trapper, it's not the issue because liquidity is entirely pool size driven. So we are not the market. On Trapper, you don't have any kind of trading happening. So we are not as affected by having to bootstrap liquidity or having to engage market makers because we don't.
All right, thank you. And the next question is, as a user, why should I participate in a prediction market platform?
Yeah, I think this goes back to the two-sided or two-faced nature of prediction markets. So, on the one hand, you are not forced to be a better if you are on Polymarket or on other prediction markets. You can just scroll through different markets and you can enjoy simply looking at the real-time charts, and then you can see, okay, what are the probabilities of an event happening, right? So if you are a sports fan, let's say you are in Germany, you might wonder, okay, who is going to win? Bayern Munich against I don't know, Schalke 04, right? And you want to know what the public thinks. You want to know what others think, right? So you can just go to Polymarket or other prediction markets, and you can see, okay, now today, right now, people think that 70% of people are saying Bayern Munich is going to win. And this might change. And if you believe, okay, this is overpriced, I actually think Schalke is going to win, then you can basically take the counter position and buy no shares for the market. Bayern Munich will win. And then you're basically saying Schalke will win. And then you can um, basically earn money by predicting correctly that Schalke is going to win. So really, it's a game of who has the better insights into the future. And yeah, you can do both. You can be a visitor, you can enjoy the information, or you can also try to make some money by becoming a trader.
Now it's a question that I have. Do you see Trepa and the prediction market platforms as a competition to, let's say, the sports betting platforms or any other kind of betting platform out there?
Yeah, I think the evolution that I am currently seeing is that prediction markets basically have found product market fit only in two verticals. So all prediction markets that I know of and that are more or less successful, they cater to people who are interested in A, politics, and B, sports. So actually, prediction markets are also acting as sports betting platforms. And I think you could argue that prediction markets do compete with more traditional, I guess, sports betting platforms like Tipico, which is very famous in Germany. However, Trepa is a little bit different. I guess we do compete for the same attention and for the same liquidity, but we are not direct competitors. I would rather say that we are a complementary service because we are not targeting people who are trying to predict future events, but we are targeting people who might want to challenge themselves in a game of emotional intelligence or social intuition. And we don't cover the same questions as prediction markets because prediction market questions start with the word will. So, will something happen? Will something happen by date XYZ or not? However, typically the questions on our platform start with the word should. So, should the death penalty exist? Should Ecolens do more web streams every week? Right? Or is something better than is A better than B? So is Samsung phone better than Apple phone? Right? So these are the questions that we cover. So in this regard, we are not direct competitors. We are more complementary.
All right. Another question is why and how do you use blockchain technology?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So our long-term roadmap really is that we want to make this fully decentralized. So basically without having to, from user perspective, trust Trepa that the counting of the votes, that the true voting outcome and that the prediction error calculations have been done without kind of like insider manipulation. And also by taking out the intermediary and by automating the different calculations and steps and the workflows, we can, I think, also provide a much more smoother user experience as well.
All right. And let's say if I want to use Trepa, can I use cryptocurrencies? So can I bet with, let's say, USDC or any other cryptocurrency?
Yeah, we plan to support all major USD stablecoins.
All right, perfect. All right, so there are no more questions in the chat. So I want to mention again here if you guys who are watching have any questions, you can ask them in the comment section. But other than that, I want to thank you for your presentation, for giving us an overview of how the platform works. When can we expect to test it? When can we expect the first, the first launch, the first version?
Yeah, so our engineering team is working tirelessly day and night. We are participating in a couple of hackathons in the next few weeks, but I hope to present you and the Ecolens community our MVP and the first testable product by, I think, the first 2 weeks of April.
All right, perfect. This is very soon. Personally, I would love to test it. And as a user, I can also write a question, right? So I can create a poll. right?
Yeah,
This will
yes, you
be
can.
possible.
So we do
Yeah.
support user-generated content. So essentially, every
Mm.
question that you see on our platform is a content, and you can submit your own ideas with a little picture, with description as well to Trapper. And if it doesn't go against our content policies, it can be featured on our front end.
All right, amazing. And can you tell us a bit about the team? Like, are you located in a specific country or are you remote? And maybe because Equilens is also a job platform, people are also looking for jobs and opportunities. Are there any opportunities at Trepa currently, so the people watching can maybe apply for a position?
Yeah, I mean, the team is really decentral, and we are working remote, so there's no requirement to be in a specific region. I myself, I'm based in Seoul, but we also have community members based in Nigeria, in Austria, um, also in Latin America. So we are really diverse, and we are a team of I think around 7 to 8 people already for developers, and then also UI UX designer and a couple of marketing interns. So yeah, I think basically if you are interested in potentially creating content or research articles, I think this is something where we would love to potentially get in touch as we are growing. Um, yeah, but we are still small and very agile, so we need every kind of helping hand that we can get. So if you're interested in prediction markets or in finance or in Trapper, yeah, do reach out.
Perfect. So everyone listening here, if you want to join this part of the blockchain world and are interested in also content creation, you can reach out to Trepa to their team on social media, and yeah, maybe you can join the team. Yeah, thank you so much. We don't have. Okay, we have one more question. Sorry. What is the future of prediction markets from your point of view?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the future will look like more people finding out about the benefits of prediction markets beyond betting function. And we also see that that there is a cultural shift in terms of like how people engage or think about prediction markets. So I said, okay, the CFTC in the US, they've approved Kalshi, which is a prediction market. So they are getting more regulated, hopefully. Um, and also Bloomberg has been in talks with Polymarket to integrate Polymarket prediction market data into their Bloomberg terminal. And we are also seeing an exponential growth in the number of users trying out decentralized prediction markets. And yeah, I really hope that there's a change that this change in the behavior of people and conception of people, perception of people, is continuing, and to making yeah, prediction markets and other forms of information aggregation mechanisms more mainstream, right? Maybe even some governments, small governments, will try out things like future key to arrive at their, yeah, government policy decisions. This would be very cool.
Perfect. Very good. Um, All right. So I want to thank everyone who participated in tonight's session, who asked questions, and thank you also, Jong Chan, for giving us this overview, for showcasing Trepa. I wish you a lot of success during the hackathons.
Thank you.
And yes, please let me know when you have the first version of the app so we can share it with our community and maybe test it as well and share some of our feedback. We love builders, and this is a big part of our culture to help builders and also to test different platforms. Yeah, maybe one last question before we we finish, are you focused on a certain blockchain platform in building Trepa, or are you blockchain agnostic?
I have a preference. I think it will get revealed once we hopefully announce our win at the next two hackathons.
All right, perfect, perfect. So we are, yeah, staying in touch, and we're looking forward to hearing more news from Trepa. All right, thanks everyone, and I wish you a great evening. All right.